we're back. Excellent. So, this did not quite go to plan. It was supposed to be the like super simple, dead easy. Anybody can do it.
Hayley, I've gone wrong already.
Right. So while we've been away, Janice has hopefully. What have you done?
Oh, you left me to my own devices and I've gone wrong already. Okay. Don't worry.
Get your unpicker out. I'll just explain what we've been doing to fix things. So, what we were supposed to be doing was we were supposed to be putting two pieces on that were just a little bit shorter than the panel. Well, not shorter, same size as the panel, and then two pieces on that were the full width, including those extra side pieces we've added. Unfortunately, did not go quite to plan. In the case of young Janice over here, and there was a little bit of a hiccup, and she cut them a bit short. So I've shown her how to fix it. I'm going to show you how to fix it in case that happens. And she is on her third of 4 corners right now. So what will happen is we should all be able to join back up together and then go ahead and do the next bit. So if that has happened and you've done effectively that and cut them too short and got a little gap there, what you're going to need is 2.5 inch squares. So I have a contrasting piece here that I'm going to create a 2.5 inch square from. I'm just going to straighten that out first. Should have brought my ruler when I went downstairs, but I didn't, so it's fine. I'm going to make it into a triangle. Ideally ruler all the way, but for this I'm pretty good at eyeballing 2.5 now, so let's just see how good I actually am. Okay, 2.5 inch square, and you're going to add in cornerstones. So you're effectively going to add in corner pieces to here. So what you first of all want to do is, if your stitches go all the way to the edge of this part of your panel, so if they go all the way off the edge, you need to take those out. You need to take them back to that central stopping point, because then you've got access to both of these pieces. And you're going to take a 2.5 inch piece and you are going to add that in to one side's not straight. We'll just straighten that out. I need it to be straight. That's better. There we go. That's much better. So one of your pieces we are going to start and we're going to add that into. So you're going to put it face to face. You're going to line up this outer edge, because remember you need that seam allowance to stitch onto the next piece. Line up your top edge, which should be the same height as where you've got your panel. So you're going to line all that up, and then from the centre going out over, you're going to stitch that together. And you want to start at the centre because you don't want to get your needle all kind of caught up in where you're going to need to stitch the next time. If anything, I would make it a stitch or so short from where the central piece is, and then you're not going to get all caught up. So I'm going to just line that back up because it did move slightly, and then I put it down, and then lining up with where your stitches were, coming across from, if I just show you, coming across from here where this join is, I need to line them up with that so that it kind of continues on. And if you're cutting this, okay, that doesn't sound good. We'll deal with that in just a second. Let's just get this piece on so we can show what you should have done, how you should have done it.
Oh, I think I've butchered it.
What have you done? Hang on, I'll just have
a... It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Show me.
I'll just do one more and then I'll show you.
Okay. You were going so well, the first two. Well, we had a little.
Do you know what we should have done, Hayley? I should have just got another panel and done it again.
Well, but it depends on what you've got, though. Maybe you haven't got the extra fabric to be able to do that, and maybe you do need to rescue it.
True.
So, you know, we're just showing, you know, real world situations is what we're doing here. So I'm going to stitch that on. I haven't gone back and forth on that first bit because again I may need to make some adjustments. Oh, I know exactly what you've done there. Right sides together, my lovely. Oh, have you got 3 out of 4?
Oh,
This is is exactly what I want to show, because sometimes when you're starting out, that is the frustration of sewing. But the beauty of it is anything can be unpicked and anything can be so yeah, what she's done there is she's not done right sides together and it's back to front. But again, that was, you know, in the beginning when I gave you that plain fabric to work with, that's, you know, fully kind of core dyed all the way through, so it's the same front and back. If you are starting out, that is a really good thing to work with, because then I mean, there is supposed to be a right side to it, but nobody is ever going to notice which is the right side to it. So sorry, I'd finished that sewing and then just stopped to chat. So then that comes out and effectively extends this piece for us. Then where it went wrong is we're going to take the whole thing and fold that up against this one. Make sure we've got everything lined up. So make sure we've got that join lined up, and make sure we've got the tops lined up and straight. And you might have to just pull out that little corner that we had there, and if, like I have there, I've just caught a stitch or two.
Right.
You may need to unpick those just to get it sitting flat. And you can always, once you've got it right, you can always go back and, you know, add an extra couple of stitches off the machine. But what it's better to do is just, I'm just going to unpick that one. There we go. So now that's laying, it was caught, it was just one stitch that was catching it, and it was keeping that kind of buckled up. That needs to come out, so it's sitting nice and flat. And now I'll be able to push those corners out and run a straight stitch down here. Now always run from where your join point is in the centre out towards the edge. And if, as Janice realised, that means you've got to push a whole lot of fabric through the machine just to stitch that last bit, then do so. It's whatever is easiest for you. So let me just do exactly.
I've done it again.
This will also happen in sewing. Well, he's only done one side this time. Right.
Oh, seriously.
Alright, just take it out. We'll get this last. I've got this one to finish off, so we'll do that. We'll get your corner sorted. Don't worry. But this is and this is. Do you know what? Yeah, of course you are. It's essential, I think, with sewing. And especially with things like free motion, where you just need to, because with free motion and things, people are always like a bit, and everybody gets really tensed up with it. So definitely, it's an essential with things like free motion sewing. So let me just make sure I've got.
What a glass of wine is?
Yeah, absolutely. Because with things like free motion, everybody gets quite kind of tense, and because they're concentrating so hard, and just you know, something that's just going to calm you down and relax you a little bit is actually quite helpful when you're doing those kind of I mean, not like a couple of bottles, then you're probably getting into, you know, danger territory. But if it's just a glass or so, then absolutely fine.
Right, Hayley, I'm going to start again because I'm
show me where you went wrong.
Right, so here it is.
Yeah, move it so, just up the table a little bit towards the door so I can see what you're doing. Yes, so green side to facing the dog.
Green side facing the dog.
Now flip it over.
Okay.
No, stop. You're going to do exactly the same thing again. Slide it down. No, turn it over, put it the way you had it.
Right.
No, turn the whole panel over.
Turn the whole panel over?
Yes. Now put the corner where it should be. So, no, leave it. No, you keep turning it. Turn it so it's right side up.
I did have it right side up.
I know, but
like that.
I think we've got a little lag now. So put the corner where it would be if it was sewn in.
Like that.
Yeah, slide everything up towards the door a bit so we can see what you're doing. Because you've gone off camera, my love.
Yeah,
so
hang on.
That's it. Slide it. Keep it on the table, but just slide it up towards the door a bit so we can see what you're doing.
See now? Do you want me to move that camera?
Perfect. No, that's there. Stop.
Okay. Like that.
Perfect. Right. So lay the square as you would have it as it was a finished piece. Perfect.
Okay.
Now flip it towards you. So flip the green bit over onto the blue bit.
Got you. So along there.
So along there, yeah. That's it. And that's
I'm sure I did that though. I'm sure I did.
That's actually a really good lesson as well, because especially if you're doing quilt blocks and things and you're sewing loads of them together, it's always really good to kind of
That's the only reason why I'm doing this.
Lay it
so people can learn.
Lay it all back out and do into its original position. We've gone a little bit glitchy here. I think we've got a little bit of a lag. Or it's just given up on us because we've been trying at it for so long. But no, we're not giving up. We're there. Perfect. You in? Right. I'm just putting the other side in now. There you go. And now flip it the other way. So
that way.
That's it. Flip it that way. And then you'll be able to get that corner in. I've only put one in because I've spent some time assisting. There you go. And then you press that flat. And if you have made the mistake, it happens. It happens. Sometimes the worst bit is, I mean, when you cut yours, Janice, you were like a full cornerstone out. I've done it before, and you're like 1/4 of an inch or 1/2 inch out, and then you've got to unpick it and do it all again. But that's a really nice way to rescue something, because sometimes you haven't got that extra fabric and you've already cut all your bits up and you haven't got the extra. But that's a really nice way to rescue it. Perfect.
1,
right.
2, 3, 4.
We're back to where we were about an hour ago. Perfect. I'm only messing. We're getting there. So, now we need to prep the bits for the envelope back, because this is the bit that you really needed to learn, because you weren't understanding which bits went where.
Yeah.
So, for an envelope back, you will need a piece of fabric. Now you can put your green paws on the back, because you've got green cornerstones that tie it all in.
Yeah, that would look good.
Yeah.
If I have enough, yeah.
Perfect. So, what you will need is you will need a piece that is the same width as your finished. So my finished block is, so this one's just a little bit bigger, so you have to got a little bit extra there.
I'll cut it by eye.
Don't cut it just yet, Janice. Don't cut it. We'll learn from our first mistake, and we won't cut it just yet until I've told you exactly how much you're going to need. So it needs to be that width. And then what you'll need is you'll need it to be about, you need 2 pieces that are about 2/3 of the height of what you've got, because you want usually about a 3-inch, maybe 4-inch overlap, depending on the size of your cushion, because if it's any less than that, then it can be a little bit gapey.
A bit like this. Hang on. A bit like that.
Right, so what you want is you want the correct width.
Yeah.
Ooh, we might be a bit tight on that one, mightn't we? Because there's not a lot of fabric there. Is that right at the corner?
Oh, right. Hang on.
Oh, no, you've got loads. You've got loads there. You've got plenty.
Yeah.
So if you're working with what you've got there, Janice, what I would do is cut it the right width. So the way you've got it, there'll be a little bit of wastage off the bottom. And then square off the other end, and then what you've got there I would just cut in half, because you're going to be about right at that. So if you just hold that piece of fabric up for me again with the dog as well, so I can have a little look. So yeah, put it right at one end, and then right in one corner and hold it up, and then can you stretch the rest of it out for me?
Yeah. Hang on. I put this right at one end.
Right, so basically, if you've got about 1.5 times your panel width, yeah, you've got loads of extra on the end there. So, cut it to the where you've got it. Cut it along the bottom there to take all those bits and pieces off, so it's exactly the right width of your panel. And then
yeah.
Yes.
Do I need more top and bottom? Do I need more fabric?
No, it needs to be the same width as what you've got. And then what we're going to do is, because you've got a finite piece of fabric left, and again, it's a nice lesson for if you're not working with yards and yards of fabric and how you're going to make it fit with what you've got. So what you're going to do is take your dog right up to the top of your fabric and maybe move your sewing machine out of the way so you've got a bigger, you can lay the whole thing out.
Yeah.
So I'll just shift mine up. Ooh, whatever that was, it's gone.
Okay.
Oh, it's a battery. You don't need that. Yeah, so move your sewing machine out of the way, get the whole thing on there. Because this is a nice kind of, you know, another one of those beginner lessons in kind of working with what you've got and making the most of it.
Oh, I've got everything. Right. Okay. So that's now on the table.
Right. So you want to cut that fabric. You've got it in the right orientation at the minute, and you want to cut that fabric so it's got a straight line all the way along the bottom there, and so you're cutting that whole piece of fabric, so all the way along, the exact width of your dog. That's what.
From there to there.
From there to there, the same. No, they'll keep going all the way onto the end, all the way off the end. Because what I'm going to do.
But it is quite straight. Have I got to cut it straighter?
No, you haven't got to cut it straighter. You just need it the same height as the dog. Because at the minute you've got a lot sticking off the top and a lot sticking off the bottom. I'm not looking at the sides, just the top and the bottom of the dog. You've got an extra centimetre or two at the top, and you've got an extra centimetre or two at the bottom.
Do you want to have it, if I take the dog right to the top?
Yes, I want you to cut that extra strip off the bottom all the way along.
You want me to cut it like that?
Yes. No, so that strip that's along the bottom, I need you to take all that extra fabric off the green.
All of it off?
So
it's not. So really.
So what you'll end up with is a long skinny bit that's almost twice the length of the dog. That's it. That's That's what I want you to cut off. That folded over bit.
Okay.
There we go. And so while Janice is doing that, if you have got plenty of fabric, you really want to cut bits that are kind of, as I said, 2/3 of the height of your panel. So for this one, I'm probably going to cut mine to about kind of, if I fold that over so you can see, probably to about that kind of height. Because remember, you're going to have to put a double rolled hem on each of them, and then you're going to have to stitch it together. So we're going to just cut these pieces out, ready to go. So
have I got to put more glue on it?
More glue?
Glue? No.
You're done with your blue. We're just doing your back and your front now. So we're just doing your back. You've got your front done. We're just doing your back, and then we're going to assemble it.
Okay, so I've cut that strip off, but I need. What's that for?
So have you got? You don't need that strip. Bin that. It's the other bit that I'm interested. Excellent, perfect. It is just like being at school, isn't it?
It is. Right, now what do I do?
Right, so the big bit that you've got left is exactly the same height as your panel. What have you got left on that edge? Because I can see a little bit flopping over the edge there. Is that where you cut your 2.5 inches off?
Yeah.
Right, get rid of that so it's straight. And then I saw a floppy bit on the other end. What have you got on your other end?
I'm cutting this straight.
Yeah, cut that straight as well. And then cut the whole thing. Oh, actually, do you want to go in half? Right.
Right, there you go, look.
Perfect. Right, so show me what you've got left. Can you move your camera so I can see the whole thing?
I'll hold it up. Look, I've got this left.
Splendid. Splendid. So, if we want the join to be in the middle of the back, so it's in the centre, what you need to do is fold your dog in half, so you find the centre.
Fold the dog in half from top to bottom.
Top to bottom, so you've got the centre.
Yep.
Line that up against one of your edges, so that the height, it fills the full height. So it's like, that's it, perfect. And then add about an inch. And cut that piece off. So add actually it's you, add 2.
You know too well. Add add 2 inches, cut along there, yeah?
Add 2 inches and cut along there. If you're going to use scissors, it might be easier to mark a line with a pencil first and then cut it. Or you're going to persevere with your rotary cutter. I mean, you also have a very teeny rotary cutter. That's a 28mm one. It's quite a teeny one. It's fine.
Yeah.
So that will give you your top bit for your top fold. So hang on, let me just do the same here. And because we've used the cushion as the guide, that should end up right in the middle of our cushion. Oh, hang on, I haven't cut my first bit off yet. Right, that's my back bit. Oh my gosh, that's not very straight, but we'll sort that in a second. And then my back bit is going to be... Oh, I've just got rid of my thing. There we go.
Hayley?
Yeah?
Really easy to buy these off Amazon, isn't it?
But it's not. This is made with love and perseverance on both of our parts. So now we're going to need to add the rolled hem. So let me just. That is super easy. Let me just get. I need a bigger table, Janice. I'm scared to push this. I'm scared to push this machine any further forward in case it goes off the edge.
I've put mine on the floor.
Yeah, that might be my next protocol. Right, just got to make sure I get this a bit straighter than my last one.
If this works, it'll be a miracle.
Oh, I think we're going to end up with a miracle here. I think we're going to be all right. I mean, you've got an excellent, very patient teacher.
I have. If you were here, you'd be pulling your hair out.
Okay, so double rolled hem. We want a double rolled hem on both of the bits. So put your dog to one side for now. Sewing machine to one side. And we are going to do double rolled hems. So to do that, we're going to take the edge of the fabric and we're going to...
What, the bit that I've cut?
But yes, the two bits that you've got. Yep,
yeah.
That bit, we're going to do it on both. So
yeah.
You're going to fold it over once, and you're going to fold it over probably about 1/2 inch.
Right, because I've got a pattern, Hayley, do I have the pattern size up as I fold it, or put pattern side down?
Right, what you need to do before you do anything is you've turned them there. So you need your patterns to go the same direction. So whatever you put your edges on, and especially because you've got a pattern, you'll need to make sure your pattern's going in the same direction. So the edge, your shorter piece, you should have one that's a rectangle like that.
Yep.
Are all your patterns matching?
Yep.
I think it's quite a small pattern and it does rotate on yours, so whatever you do, I think you're going to get away with it.
It won't matter.
So, with yours, because mine's a solid die, it doesn't matter which way I do mine, but with yours, if you turn it over, so you've got pattern side down, and then along the pattern side down, that's it.
Yep.
Flip it over, and then you're going to put one fold in. So you're going to fold the whole length of it, the long side. You're going to fold it once.
What, a little tiny one?
About 1/2 inch.
Okay.
I've done a smaller one, but I've given you enough for 1/2 inch.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm just finger pressing mine.
Finger press it for now, and then I'll send you away to do some ironing.
Yep.
And
finger press. Done it.
You're going to fold it over a second time, and this time you probably want just over 1/2 inch to make sure that you haven't got fabric curling over on that fold line.
Okay.
And if you want to, obviously you can be really precise about it, and you can kind of measure it. I am eyeballing mine, absolutely, but you can get little guides and things, or just a tape measure to just, or it doesn't even have to be a tape measure. It can be a bit of cardboard that is just the a uniform size that you can use all the way along. So you're going to then press it again with your second bit down, and then you're going to repeat that process for your other side, for your other half of your back. So you've done one side and it should look like that. 2 folds. So there you go, it's opened up. 1 fold, 2 folds. And then you finger pressed yours, but I will say that you go and press it properly in a minute. Oh no, no more fold. No, stop.
You didn't tell me to do that.
On the other piece of fabric.
Oh, right.
On the that's it. On the other piece of fabric. And if you have got a pattern, like Janice has, then try and make sure that your pattern's going to go in the same way. So you want your two folded edges, so the pattern continues from one folded edge down to the next. So for example, if this, let me just put some pins in to indicate a direction with this one. So they've got, there you go. So at least you can probably see these. Right. So if, for example, on mine there was a pattern on it, and the pattern was going top to bottom, like my pins, my next bit, I would want to make sure that the pattern was going in the same direction, and my folded edge, rather than being at the bottom of my piece like here, was on the top of the piece, so that when I overlap those at the back, the pattern still flows through. And when you get more experience, you can do really fancy things and make sure that, you know, where you cut your fabric out, all those patterns match up as well. You done it?
Done that.
Perfect. Right, well, do you want to quickly go and press them, and I'll do my other one?
Alright.
And then we'll sew the edges, and then we will sew them together. Right, there's my other bit. It's all blue, so you can't really tell. So that's one side. You can do the other side. Now, if you have a salvage and you want to cheat, then you can get away with using that as your inner edge, but you just got to make sure that when you put them together, you get them the right way around. So I am not going to do that. I am going to be a good girl, and I am going to just roll that. I don't need to cut it off. I can just roll that salvage in as my piece. But what I am going to do is quickly grab the tissue and give my nose another quick blow, because I don't know what's been going on today, but I've got a very runny nose and a bit of a scratchy throat. So I've already had COVID, so I'm hoping it's not bad. I'm sure I will be fine. Right, so doing exactly the same with this one. So we're going to press that first edge. And because I've used the salvage, I'm actually using the little needle marks from when they actually manufacture it as my guide to keep that nice and straight. I'm going to flip it over and do it again. And ideally, yes, you want them to be about the same size. I'm just giving this a check. They are close enough. And if they aren't exactly the same size, it isn't the end of the world, because this one is going to be inside the back, so you're not going to see it anymore. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. I've got this last little bit to press, and then hopefully Janice will be back, because I need to trim these down a little bit as well, because I didn't trim mine down width-wise at the same time as Janice did. So that'll give me a chance.
Back!
Yay! There you go. Just good timing. Good timing.
I've done it.
I'm so sorry. Right. I'm just got to trim mine down for width, and then they're beautiful. Well done. Well done. Well done. Right. So oh. Can you see my flashy light? It's like they're telling me. Oh, it's because the battery's running out on the big light. I've got another one I can plug in though. We're all right. We're all right. I'm just going to make sure this is lined up on that edge. Ooh, nearly. It wasn't. We're just going to...
Right, now what?
All right, steady on. I'm just trimming mine down, because I wasn't doing that because I was helping you. Right, done. Gone. Let's go. So, we're going to take our... I see you've gone... You've rolled with the head band thing. Lovely. So we're going to take these. Ideally, you would sew these from the front, because that's where you're going to see your top stitch. To get it nice and straight, we're going to sew it from that back edge so we can see what we're doing. So this needs to go onto the machine. I'm going to see if I can get it close enough so you can see what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Okay. So when...
Sorry.
Is this going to be Millie's cushion now, is it?
This cushion's for you, Millie.
Oh my gosh, we've got 10 minutes left. We've got to get cracking.
Right. Come on then.
Okay, right. So, with this, if your needle is in the centre and you cannot move it, you will need to move your move this along so that this edge goes where the toe is. I'm going to see if I can move my camera to show you exactly the positioning I've got on this.
Where is the stitching going to be then? On the edge?
The stitching needs to be right along this bottom edge.
That side? Or that side?
Right, do it from the wrong side. Do it from that side that you've got up there, because it's going to be easier for you to follow that line. And what you probably need to do is...
I'm stitching down that bit.
Yeah, stitching down that bit, but that's not the bit you'll see. So when you line your foot up, if you line your foot up level with this edge and try and keep your stitching level with this edge, but you need to move your needle across so it's across there.
Oh.
Can you move your needle?
I don't know how to do that.
Right, okay. Well, if you don't know how to do that, we'll go plan B. So in that case, I will... Right.
Does my stitch need to be along there?
No, it doesn't need to be any longer. It doesn't need to be any shorter. It needs to be along that bottom edge that you've got there.
All right.
And
right,
just
I'm going to do it.
As straight as you can keep it.
Okay.
Is what we're going for. I mean, with mine, what I tend to do is I tend to line the foot up with that top edge, keep that lined up, and then just move my needle across so it's towards the bottom edge. I mean, we've got 2 completely full turns on it, so it'll be fine. You'll still catch everything. Come on, why aren't you going? Oh, there, that's why.
Oh no.
And this is when ideally you would want a coordinated fabric, unless you desperately want to see your top stitching. See, for me, that's a little bit too far in. I would probably go a bit further, but it looks great on the other side because it's, you know, it's a contrasting colour, and I'm making sure it stays lined up with this edge here. So we are going to whiz through. Got 7 minutes to finish your cushion, Janice, and we're going to do it.
We're going to do it?
Of course we are. Right, so once you've done one, you need to do the next one.
Okay.
Now you know what it's like when we're on the telly.
Now I know, yeah. I mean, I was sitting with Lewis, and he put together an envelope cushion with, like, in minutes.
Yeah, you can. Once you get the hang of it, then...
Once you know it,
yeah,
and you know all the things that you shouldn't do.
It's knowing what order things go in. And again, this one, for me, that's a bit too much of a flappy edge, but where I'm just showing you how to line it up with this edge, I would maybe have done a slightly smaller turn hem, and then you wouldn't notice it. But this is the one that's going in the middle, so it really doesn't matter. When I like to do them, I like to stitch right along that edge so you haven't got anything flapping about. Nobody wants a flappy bit. Right, done. How are you getting on, Janice?
Okay.
Just move this big mat out of it. Whoa.
Look at that.
I'm just about done with the iron as well, so I'll unplug it.
That.
Magic dot. Excellent.
Right, now what?
Right, got both bits?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, excellent. Right, that's the wrong one. It's this one. Ugh, here we go. So, this one, we're going to place this one face up.
Oh.
So that's your panel that's got you've got no head, but it's more important that you see this than you see my head. So that I'm going to just shuffle it back a little bit maybe because it's quite close. So that one down first.
Yeah.
And then your shorter one of the two. So you remember you had one that was a little bit shorter and one that was a little bit longer.
Yep.
Your shorter one of you two, you want it, that's the right face.
Yeah.
You want that face down.
Got you.
Turn it over.
Yeah.
Perfect. And you want that right at the top.
Yeah. And so along.
Not yet. Not yet.
Okay.
Steady on. Steady on. And then your next one. And you want that with the seam towards the middle. Yep.
That way.
That's it. And again, fabric right side down. So turn it over. That's it. Face down.
So they meet?
They need to cross over each other, so it should line up at the bottom. You're lining the bottom up this time. So you've got that overlap.
That's quite a lot.
That's fine. You can always trim it down. So if you want to kind of put it to where you think it sits nicely, because you want at least 3 to 4 inches in terms of your overlap.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it becomes a little bit gapey. So if you need to trim yours off at the bottom, then go ahead and do so. And then whack a whole stack of pins in, especially where these bits overlap.
How much am I going to cut off the bottom so it meets along the bottom?
Yes, so it meets along the bottom.
Okay, hang on now.
So don't. I'm just a bit nervous about you chopping bits off. As long as you've got at least kind of 4 inches overlap here, where those 2 pieces meet, you can chop anything you like off the bottom as long as you've got at least 3 to 4 inches overlap.
Okay.
You make me nervous, Janice. You make me nervous. I just get the feeling in a minute we're going to have another...
Right. Do I need to put pins in it? Can I not just go for it?
No, it will move. You do need pins just where your overlap bit is. So where this piece is, where it overlaps, definitely put pins in there.
Right. Where?
Just where it overlaps here. Along the side, where it overlaps. What I would recommend you do is put one like quite a bit further in, so it'll still hold everything together while you're running around and taking them out.
Have you got flaps each side? Mine's wider.
Okay, well that's fine. You can cut if you've got extra. You can cut it off. My flaps are fine, but if you do have extra, you can cut it off. And then, yes, you can whiz round the outside. You can go all the way around. You don't need to stop and leave a gap for turning out, because your envelope back that you've made will be that bit for turning it out. So let's get cracking, actually.
What am I doing?
You're going all the way around now.
All the way round?
All the way round.
And are you still doing it?
I'm doing it from the flappy side, because we need to keep an eye on these to make sure that we don't get in a mess with them. And I wouldn't start on a corner. I would start just a little bit further up than the corner to make sure you can get all of the way around and not have a join on a corner, because ideally you don't want that.
Oh, I don't know what you mean. I'll just go for it.
Go for it. Oh, my needle's still set to the side, but it's all right as long as it's consistent all the way around. It really doesn't matter too much. Okay, I'm up to the top. I'm going to do the first corner. Leave your needle down when you turn the corner, and that will hold everything in place for you. I just need another couple of stitches there.
Do you cut your thread every time you go, or do you just twist your fabric and go for it?
Just twist your fabric, go round. It's better if it's one continuous piece, because then it's less likely to pop open or anything. Got that lined up, yeah. We might need full power here. Less than a minute. Oh no! I don't want to do a part 3. I don't want to do a part 3. I don't want it to time out. Please don't. Okay. We're there. We're there.
Nearly there.
Well, we might have to do part 3 because we've got to explain about clipping the corners. So, but we'll be back really quickly. We'll finish sewing these, and then we'll be back in literally 2-3 minutes. Because I don't want Janice to rush it, just to get it done. Because I want it to be right for you. I do really want this to be right. So we'll be back in a couple of minutes. Oh, bye bye. Hello! Oh no, I think I might have just left that as a blank screen for ages. I don't think I stopped that. I don't think I stopped that live stream. If I did not, I'm very sorry.
No, I think you did.
Did I?
Yeah.
Okay, let me have a look.
If not, you've got me chuntering away saying how difficult I'm finding it. No, it's not.
Oh my God, you've already turned it inside out and done it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Right, hang on. Let me just, I haven't checked if my live is still live.